Hey, 16, turn me up.
And just like that, we are back. Views from Section 400. Limited show again. Matt and Brian. Jack on the injured list. I think the 3-day IL is what the reports are. So he will be back shortly. Hopefully he gets recovered up from injury or surgery or whatever he's got going on. But it's Views from Section 400. We're not skipping a beat here. The regular podcast, uninterrupted sports conversation. We're going to cover a lot. Winners and losers of the week we'll get right into in just a moment here. NHL playoffs are right around the corner and just about getting ready to start. I think we have a day or two left in the regular season. Flyers frauded. Horrible. We'll get into that. Brian obviously has his Caps hat on. Total joke, but either way, we'll keep it rolling here. And yeah, NBA play-in is now. Yesterday started. Going on. Sixers play right now as we're recording this. When you guys watch this, obviously we'll know the result when we release this. But yeah, play-in's going on. Had the games last night, some crazy games tonight, and we'll kind of find out how the bottom of the seeding will work out in both respective conferences. So some cool stuff there. And then obviously a little bit of MLB and maybe some NFL thrown in there. As with the NFL, we got the NFL draft right around the corner. So we'll start, ramping up with that. And as soon as the NFL draft is over, I don't care what anybody says, but I'm locked into football season all summer. I mean, it comes quick. I think I said it on a pod a couple weeks ago. Football, like week one of the NFL season, we'll be here before we know it. Unfortunately, Brian won't be locking in until week 2 this year. But Week 1 for everybody else will be right around the corner.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. There is video proof, receipts, everything of that going down. If you haven't checked that out, go check out some of our clips. I'm sure you'll find it. Brian said if the Eagles sign Saquon Barkley, he is boycotting week 1 of the NFL. Obviously, as you can predict, the very next day, Saquon signed with the Eagles.
And that's not an exaggeration. It was the literal next day after I said that on a podcast, I get the notification Saquon signs with the Eagles. So I will be apple picking the first Sunday of NFL season.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to, Rose is going to be very happy that Brian will be fully available for week 1 of the NFL to do some Sunday fun day, girlfriend or wife at that time, activities. So good on that. But either way, can't wait for Brian to have to boycott that. We will definitely make sure that happens, and we will make him hold to what he said. Nobody forced him to do it. He said it. But either way, it's Views from Section 400. Like I said, we'll get into the winners and losers of the week. Since it's a different kind of show, Jack's not here, just Brian and I. I'm going to start out with the winner and loser of the week because why not switch it up? Why not switch it up? I always jump it over to Brian or Jack, but I'm going to kick us off here in the winners and losers segment. Views from Section 400, do it every week. Check out from the recent clips, podcasts. You can kind of see who won and lost the week. But obviously, we jump into this right now. And my winner of the week happened just last night. I was at the game. It's going to be Ranger Suarez. 9 innings, complete game shutout, 8 Ks, 112 pitches. You don't see that anymore. You don't see that anymore in the MLB. Guys going 6 innings, getting their quality start and getting pulled is what you see. Props to Rob Thompson for throwing him out there in the 9th inning. Got into a little bit of trouble. Nothing crazy, but I think he let the first guy on, then got an out. Then the next guy got on. His runners on first and second. Very easily could have, ran out there, pulled them, and brought in a reliever. But trusted his guy, let him get the 9-inning complete game, shutout, 8 Ks. Ranger Suarez wins the week for me, and it is my winner of the week.
It's hard to believe he started out as a bullpen guy, and not even like a high leverage bullpen guy.
He was a reliever. The Phillies signed him in, I forget the exact year, but he was 16 years old when they signed him. So I think he's 28 now. So maybe like that'd be like 2012. I think around about that year they signed him as an international prospect, $25,000 signing bonus. Got him in there, and now started as a bullpen guy, like Brian kind of just mentioned. Wasn't even a high leverage guy. Doesn't have crazy velocity. I mean, he throws a 91-mile-an-hour sinker. Fastball might hit 93, 94. Kind of relies on that sinker moving in and out, and has a slider that I don't even know that he uses all that often. Really relies on that changeup and deception to kind of get guys to swing and miss, and obviously roll over on balls and get a lot of ground outs that way. But nonetheless, Ranger Suarez, my winner of the week. Complete game shutout, 112 pitches. You don't see it anymore. So props to him. He's having a great start to the year, and the Phils have really solidified their number 3 pitching role in the rotation. So he needs a lot more credit from the national media because he is just undervalued, or I feel like he doesn't get a lot of people don't talk about him.
Yeah, he's definitely an underrated pitcher, and he's kind of that throwback southpaw left-handed pitcher archetype. Like you said, doesn't throw that hard, just relies on finesse. And fun fact, I learned this watching the Met game yesterday. They call left-handed pitchers southpaws because when they throw, their arm is facing south.
South.
Thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's a good little nugget there. That huge baseball guy, and I always knew southpaw meant lefty. Didn't know why they called him that. So good stuff to know right there. But yeah, my loser of the week. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like this could create some controversy because people are going to be like, no, it's just 1 year, whatever. But is the Golden State Warriors and their dynasty being over? The Warriors dynasty is over. I want to see what people have to say about that. They were what? Just a 10 seed. They got blown out by the Kings. They didn't look good. I forget the final score. I know at one point they were down like 15 though. So that's a blowout in my opinion for this almighty dynasty. I liked them when they were winning back in the early days of, I guess, 2016. They were on that huge run. But yeah, I think it's the Golden State Warriors as the loser of the week, considering they lost last night to the Kings. But the dynasty is over.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go as far to say the dynasty is over, but that version,
they're the 10 seed.
The version of the big three, that version of the dynasty is definitely done. I don't know if you saw this, but so Twitter came out with, or I guess X came out with a new AI-powered trending section. So this was a headline after they lost last night. Klay Thompson accused in bizarre brick vandalism spree. In a bizarre turn of events, NBA star Klay Thompson has been accused of vandalizing multiple houses with bricks in the Sacramento area. He went 0 for 10, so people were just talking about him throwing up bricks, and Twitter's algorithm.
Yeah, it's essentially what happened. He did go 0 for 11, didn't he?
Yeah, 0 for 11, and yeah, he looked bad. Steph only had like 20 points and on a lot of shots, and Draymond just hasn't been great in a while. So
dynasty's over, man. And I was a huge Warriors dynasty guy. I think it's coming to an end. I mean, they wouldn't have even been in that spot if Adam Silver didn't kind of extend the playoffs, so to speak, to what it is now. I mean, you know, the 10 seed, they would have been in Cabo already if this play-in tournament didn't exist.
yeah, all year we were kind of talking about him like, well, as long as they get in the play-in or the Warriors, they'll be fine. I'm like, well, they might not even make the play-in. And they kind of showed the fact they barely made the play-in. They weren't that good.
I mean, the fact they had to have a little like Twitter/X beef with the Rockets or whatever that was, that they were neck and neck, tells you all you need to know. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, loser of the week, the Golden State Warriors. The dynasty, in my opinion, looks to be over, but we'll see if they have a bounce back year next year.
Yeah, we'll see. Steph Curry's getting up there in age. It's going to be interesting. But I guess I'll kind of go off that with getting up there in age. So I have a breaking news winner of the week. I have two for you, but the breaking news one is going to be the Auburn Tigers. So Janai Broome is coming back for a 5th year on the Plains. Auburn is locked and loaded. They might have enough talent to be a preseason top 12 team now, But Bruce Pearl has worked that transfer portal. There's a good chance all 5 players in the starting lineup next year are going to be transfers. Because you got Denver, you got JP from Furman, then you got Broom, you got Chaney Johnson, and you got Chad Baker-Mazara coming back. And those are all talented guys.
It's going to be electric. I mean, definitely the JP Pegues or Pegues, whatever they say his name is. That's an awesome transfer. I wouldn't even call is Furman's not even a mid-major, are they? I would put him as a low mid-major.
Yeah, the SoCon's definitely like up there in terms of breaking through.
Yeah, but whatever. It's a good guy to get who definitely deserves a shot at that kind of next level or next tier college basketball. And would you say Janai Broom coming back is obviously huge? Probably feels like he's got something to prove after the way their season ended.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he worked on his 3-point shot last year. He threw up a couple air balls, but I think he shot like 28% from 3. So if he can get that up to 30, maybe the NBA is a path for him. But yeah, the Auburn Tigers.
You still got to get through football season with them though before you jump back into college basketball.
That's true. Yeah, we'll see how the football season goes. I'm sure they'll find a way to disappoint me. Although the offense looks pretty electric.
I think it's coming together based on the transfers you've been talking about.
Yeah,
the recruits that have been committed.
Yeah, a couple 5-star recruits, a couple of good transfers, but that defense might be an issue. But we'll worry about that. We'll worry about that in August. We don't have to worry about that yet.
We don't have to get into that. But what, you said you have another winner of the week, or you got a loser for us?
Yeah, so I'll be quick with my other winner. It's going to be the WNBA. So last night's draft, I guess Tuesday night's draft, they had 2.4 million viewers. And call it the Caitlyn Clark effect, call it the Angel Reese effect, but that's more than the NHL draft had. That's more than the MLB draft had. So they performed very well. 36 out of the 40 Indiana Fever games are going to be nationally televised next year, which is huge for the WNBA. I mean, for any team to get that much national publicity is massive. And then also the Aces. So I made the mistake of saying earlier a couple months ago when they sold out for the year that they played in T-Mobile Arena. Apparently they don't. They play in another arena. But they will be moving to T-Mobile Arena when the Fever come into town. And that game already sold out. So Caitlyn Clark is just taking that league by storm. The WNBA, Angel Reese too, like Cameron Brink, there's some good talent coming into that league.
Some might call it Clarkonomics.
There you go. That's a I like
that.
I
can't say I came up with that on my own. I think I heard that on some sports show. But either way, some might call it Clarkonomics, dude. I mean, she is taking it by storm, and the WNBA economy is booming from her. And obviously, there's other people who are kind of helping too. But I mean, she's definitely the main figure that's catapulting that league into relevance.
Yeah, so I guess that transitions into my loser of the week. It was going to be the WNBA, but I guess I'll call it Clarkonomics. So for some reason, although Caitlyn Clark has been giving so much publicity to women's basketball, Angel Reese too, all these college kids, the veterans in the WNBA hate the young guys, hate them. It makes no sense. Diana Taurasi is subtweeting Caitlyn Clark. She went on, they had like their own Manningcast broadcast during the national championship. And she completely dismissed Caitlyn Clark versus Paige Beckers, Beckers is great, but like she was asked the question, who would you take? And she just goes Beckers and sips her drink, gives no reasoning at all, like clearly just heated about it. Breanna Stewart had an interview, like, does Caitlyn Clark deserve to be talked about as one of the great college basketball players ever, even though she didn't win a ring? And Breanna's like, no, you need to win a ring. It's like, newsflash, Breanna Stewart, when you played basketball, there were probably 7 elite women college basketball players, and 4 of them played with you at UConn. There's a reason you were able to win that. Now it's so much harder. The team Caitlyn Clark lost to, South Carolina, is probably better than that UConn team Breanna Stewart was on, considering they had to go up against so much better talent. And this
South Carolina went undefeated. They didn't lose a game
against better competition in the SEC.
They didn't lose a game.
Like, we've seen this before too. When Skylar Diggins came out, I think her name's Skylar Diggins Smith now. She took her husband's name. But she was on the same team as Diana Taurasi, and Diana Taurasi like made her life hell. So for some reason, even though these young athletes are coming into the league, the older athletes that have been clamoring for equal pay, clamoring for more viewership, hate the fact that they might be better than them. And It doesn't make any sense. And then you look at the NBA and you see like LeBron tweeting about Wemby and like Tatum, like saying Anthony Edwards is up next and all this stuff. It's like that's how you treat the young talent. You can be rivals on the court, but like you gotta put eyeballs on the young generation. That's how you grow the sport.
I think they're just a bit jealous. I think you kind of alluded to that right there. Is they're just Brianna Stewart. Is she the best player in the WNBA before this new wave came in? I mean, she was up there for sure.
Yeah, her and Aja Wilson. And by the way, the Aces probably, even with Caitlyn Clark coming in, they're still gonna be a wagon and probably win it all. They're insane.
Exactly. But either way, Brianna Stewart, very, very good player and up there, probably top three, whatever you want to call her. And the league just didn't have that much notice or notoriety from her being in it and being so good. And now that Caitlin Clark comes in, I mean, it's a total jealous factor.
Yeah, it's like you can easily say like, listen, she's a great player and I can't wait to play her and beat her. And that sounds so much better than just like discounting her.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's really weird to be clamoring for more eyeballs on your sport and completely dismissing the new players that are coming in. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're just a hypocrite, right? Like you think, hey, we're great athletes. People should be watching our stuff. And now this new age or new wave of players are doing that and bringing eyeballs to the sport and bringing viewers and all this stuff. And then just to discredit it, I mean, yeah, hypocrite, and they're just jealous kind of what's happening.
Yeah, and I mean, just to wrap it up in a completely ironic bow here. So they talk about how the NBA gets more just because they're more athletic and like people just like the men better and it's more entertaining. There's also the fact LeBron James and all these veterans, Steph Curry and everybody is telling everybody on Twitter, telling them in interviews how great Victor Wembanyama is, how great Anthony Edwards is, how great SGA is. Like they're just supporting the young talent because they realize that's how you grow the league. And that's a big thing the WNBA could do, but the ego or jealousy or it doesn't make any sense.
And you would think the NBA guys would be more like not jealous, but like have that dismissal factor because like they don't need to grow the league. They already have the eyeballs. They already have the viewership. People are going to watch regardless of what they say.
Exactly. Yeah, I just had to go on a little rant there because I want the WNBA to grow, but they're just not. The players are not for it growing.
Would some call Caitlin Clark an industry plant?
No.
You had to think about it though.
I mean, she worked her way up.
Nah, I know she did, but it's just funny.
Yeah,
because like she's in there, number one pick. Everything's about her, and people are eating it up.
Yeah.
So
2.4 million views is no joke.
That's crazy, and stadium's already sold out. And I think one of them, it was like before Caitlin Clark, she went to the Fever, right? Indiana Fever. Yep. So it was like their tickets before were maybe like 50 or $60 or whatever it was, which still seems kind of high when I saw that graphic. But either way, I think it was like $50 or $60. Now it's like 160. So Clarkonomics again is just in full effect.
I mean, almost 90% of their games are being nationally televised. That's unheard of for any sport.
It's usually just the playoffs, right, for the WNBA?
Yeah, and then they have like the Sunday on ESPN, like matinee. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now it'll be like Tuesday night and you're watching Caitlin Clark at 7:00 in the WNBA.
And people will watch it like over other sports, especially because the WNBA is in the summer and like not much else on.
Yeah, I mean baseball during the week. But yeah, I mean if there's like a Tuesday night, Thursday night, Clark on ESPN, I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, especially if she's doing what she did in college, lighting it up from three the way she did. It'd be interesting if she's like a fraud in the WNBA. That would be a whole other thing.
That would be really tough for the league.
That would be tough. That would be like so up and so down. That'd be worse than the crypto crash of how quick that went up and went down.
Yeah.
So obviously we just had some WNBA talk right there, which usually doesn't dominate a whole segment, but that's what you get right there. We cover all the sports, and props to them for forcing not only us, but just sports commentators, podcast shows, ESPN, major networks, whatever you want to call it, to talk about them. So props to them. We'll see what happens, how that develops over the next couple months, and because that season starts up quick, right? I mean,
It'll be
have the draft and then their season's about to start.
I think it's June.
Yeah, so that's right around the corner. But since we're on the topic of basketball, we should talk about the NBA, which is heating up right towards the playoffs. We do have the play-in day one that happened yesterday. We just talked about the Warriors. Their dynasty's over. Klay Thompson, 0 for 11 from 3. So that was horrible on his part. The Kings, back-to-back years in the playoffs, which they haven't done, I think, in a while. So props to them. A little bit of a regress this year for them. I think they're a pretty high seed last year. Were they the 1 seed?
They were 3. It was the first round was 3-6, Warriors and Kings.
So Kings, props to them. The Lakers beat the Pelicans despite Zion having 40, 11, and 5. Got injured. Now I think he was questionable for the second game, but I think he got ruled out, no?
He did. Yeah, he got ruled out.
Confirmed out, which I don't know. Can you be confirmed out and then play?
No. I don't think that they're allowed to.
They're not allowed to do that.
But Zion too athletic for his own good. It's been a story of his career.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, 40, 11, and 5. The Lakers did blow a lead. Pelicans tried to come back, and then I don't know. I mean, it's a nice big 3, I guess, with Zion, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum, but I just don't know that they'll ever have enough to kind of propel themselves over the edge.
Yeah, CJ is still trying to win a big game, Jennifer. But the Lakers had a big lead, and then Reggie Miller at the end of the game. So they were up by 2, and there were 2.7 seconds left, up by 2. Anthony Davis gets fouled, and Reggie Miller had a big brain fart moment where he went on the national broadcast. And he was like, if you're Anthony Davis, do you make the first free throw and purposely miss the second because they don't have any timeouts and force them to run the floor? Or do you just make the 2 and go up 4? And it's like, well, Reggie, if they go up 4, the game's pretty much over. If you go up 3, they have 2.7 seconds here. That was one of the biggest fluffs I've seen from an announcer all year.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are always in some kind of mess up in big broadcasts.
Well, it's always like there's always that hypothetical when there's like 0.5 on the clock, but then there was 2.7 seconds left.
No, they try to be like have a smart angle and sound. Sometimes in their head it sounds better than when they say it out.
He caught himself too. Like after AD made the second one, he goes, "Yeah, that was probably the right choice."
At least he caught himself on it, right?
Yeah, there you go. And then we talked about Caitlyn Clark, but a great day for Iowa, or a great week for Iowa, I guess. Keegan Murray had 32 in that game against the Warriors. He was the game's leading scorer.
Someone said that at work today, and I was like, no way. I had to pull my phone out and look at the box score because I was like, I know he's a solid player, but like 32?
8 for 13 from 3.
That's nuts. He had a Klay Thompson stat line.
Yeah. He switched. I guess he just switched places with the Flash brothers for a night.
But for what people actually care about, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers, taking on the Heat right now, as we record this. Hopefully they get it done because I am all the way back in for all probably going to just get absolutely crushed. But whatever. Back in on the Sixers, and Embiid looked healthy-ish. He had that scare last week, which wasn't great. But either way, should be fine. Hopefully they get it done tonight. If they play the Knicks in the first round, I'm not scared of the Knicks at all. I understand Jalen Brunson's a great player, and he's turned into probably superstar in the NBA. He's definitely an awesome player, averages a lot of points, and just very, very valuable to whatever team he's on. But I would not be scared of them. I don't need to hear Mitchell Robinson this, Isaiah Hartenstein that. Those guys are not shutting down Embiid in a playoff series.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, Jalen Brunson is locked in right now. We'll get to the Olympic talk in a little bit, but he was asked he would like to be the last spot on Team USA's roster, and he said he's not even thinking about that. All he's thinking about is winning an NBA championship. But I just find if the Sixers get it done tonight, it is, as we record, tied going into the second quarter. They will play the Knicks in the first round. And I can't remember a time when you had like a regional sports team play against another team that's, for all intents and purposes, made up of guys from that region in college. Like, it's basically the Villanova Knicks against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's all the Nova guys. I mean, well, the core guys that won a title. It's Brunson, it's DiVincenzo, and it's Josh Hart.
Yep.
They were all on the same team in 2016, but they weren't all together for the 2018 title, right?
Yeah, I think Brunson was gone by 18, and Hart might have been gone by 18 too. That was DiVincenzo's team because he won the MOP.
Yeah.
They still got to change that acronym.
Yeah, they do. But that was DiVincenzo went on that crazy run. That was Nova blew everybody out. I mean, that was like UConn this year.
Yeah.
They won their Final Four game. They beat Buddy Hield's Oklahoma team in the Final Four, blew them out by like 30 or 40. And then I think they played Michigan in the title.
They did.
That wasn't even close.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe I think I had Michigan winning it all. I had Michigan beating Nova in the final that year. That one really hurt.
But either way, obviously there is a game after the Sixers Heat. Sixers Heat, that's what everybody cares about. Hawks Bulls, I mean, Zach LaVine's not playing. Sure, you have DeMar DeRozan, but I guess playoff Trey is back. Everyone will be fired up for him. But like Hawks Bulls, I mean, Kings Warriors, that's an exciting 9-10 matchup. Hawks Bulls, I mean, this is a nonsense bottom of the Eastern Conference matchup that the only angle you can take is like Trae Young in the playoffs and can he catch fire? Because we've seen him do it before.
Yeah.
But is he? I mean, I don't know. He's been injured a lot this year.
I think both fan bases and maybe both front offices are hoping that their team loses this play-in game. So it's like, just based off that fact alone, I don't think I'll be tuning in.
Is there a reason to?
No.
I can't think of one.
I mean, if you have money on it, but I don't know why you'd have money on this nonsense game.
It's such a nonsense game, dude.
Yeah, it's one of the drawbacks of the play-in because you're always going to get one game at least like this. The West, at least, all those teams you
That's what I'm saying. Like the Kings and the Warriors wasn't bad.
Yeah, but the East is just so horrendous.
This is just like, obviously the East has a huge fall off, right? I mean, either way, I will not be locked into the Hawks and the Bulls. But I do think Hawks +3 could be a sneaky play. I guess, no one's going to be able to see that because when you guys watch this, it'll be after the result happens, so to speak. So me saying Hawks +3 doesn't hold much value for anybody other than maybe Brian, who's not
people can retroactively see if you got it right.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I mean, no Zach LaVine. Is DeMar DeRozan good enough to like? I know he can score a lot, but is Zach, even if he drops 40 or 50 points, like, is that going to be enough for them to win the game?
Probably not. They're going to need Kobe White to have a good game too. It's just neither of these teams.
You know what I mean? Like DeRozan can score and go off, and it's like I'm still like don't see the Bulls winning.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's the winner of this game, if they somehow beat the loser of the Sixers and Heat, are going to get swept by the Celtics. So I don't think it's worth much discussion.
Yeah, it really is not. And I think we've spent a bit too much time on it. Either way, I should have said Hawks +3, but don't bet it. And then move on is how we should have said that. But yeah, Olympics update, dude. Paris 2024 on the cards. When does that start? That's usually mid-July. They roll that around.
We are 100 days away today, so it'll be 99 when you're watching this. But okay. NBC's starting to get the coverage out. We're starting to see the rosters of all the U.S. teams and other teams come out. And of course, what everyone mostly cares about is the basketball. Team USA saw what happened in the FIBA World Cup and said, we're done. The international pool of players is better. It's time to show the world that the U.S. is still on top. So for this summer, we're going to have LeBron, we're going to have Steph, we're going to have KD, we're going to have Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, Tyrese Halliburton. It's going to be a bloodbath. I think we're going to get back to the Team USA -25 spreads. I mean, the other teams are good out there, but I mean, This team might be better than the Dream Team or the 2012 team. This might be the team.
It is obviously a loaded team. And we say it every time, right? Like the USA team is always loaded, but you can nitpick rosters and go through them and see, what teams are more loaded than the other. Embiid's on the team, right? Like
Embiid too. Yep, I didn't even mention Embiid.
I didn't hear you say Embiid, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Embiid is on Team USA now. Obviously, they worked that out with because he's a citizen, so he was able to play. But some say, and obviously I'm a Sixers fan, so no hate to Embiid, but some are saying he ducked Team USA by joining Team USA.
Yeah, he might be chasing a gold medal. I guess, yeah, guess you're medal chasing. You're not ring chasing, but
when to finally win something and feel something. But
yeah, there's some good teams that might not. Greece might not. They're in a group of death with a couple other. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's a couple groups up there.
Does every team have to qualify, or is like the U.S. already in?
The U.S. has an auto because they won it the last time.
Okay, and it's just like that. Like, don't even make them have to qualify.
Yeah, and then I think the top 3 from the FIBA World Cup qualify too. There's a lot of automatic qualifiers.
So we'll ask this, and again, 100 days away. So this is like whatever prediction, and we can obviously dial it up. But basketball is obviously a huge Olympic sport when it comes around. It's really, as you see all the international guys in the NBA, it's grown into an international game quite nicely. And all the leagues over in Europe and Turkey, which is that part of Europe? Not really, more Middle East, I would say, but it is kind of Eastern Europe. So
they host the Euro League. It's the Turkish Airlines Euro League.
Yeah, so they're in that. And there's just leagues all over the place over there where good players play. It just shows you how good the NBA is. That not everybody can be over here playing, but there are still good talent. But what team gives USA the most headache, like nightmare, whatever you want to say? I mean, what team's Luka on? Like Luka and Jokic aren't on the same team.
No, Luka's Slovenia and
Right.
Jokic is Serbia. Yeah, Serbia's good. They got Jokic and Bogdanovic are their main 2, and then they got a bunch of shooters. Slovenia is not as they're not really well-known players, but Luka's so good in international play.
So good he can carry them. And international play changes it as well. But is there a team, I know Spain is always competitive. Yeah. Germany, especially when they had Dirk Nowitzki. I don't know how they are now. France is usually pretty solid.
Yeah, so Team Canada is probably going to be their biggest competition. They're good. They're good. You got SGA, you have Dort, Dylan Brooks, RJ Barrett, Zach Edey, Dwight Powell, Kelly Olynyk. But yeah, I mean, that's starting 5. It can't really compete.
Is Scotty Barnes there or he's not there?
He's not there. So the starting 5 will be Brooks, Dort, Barrett, Edey, and SGA with Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell on the bench. So it's a great team, but when the U.S. loads up like they are,
very solid team. They'll obviously probably beat up on the other teams they play, but just what the U.S. is, it's going to be tough. And I'm not saying this team's going to beat them, but I just wanted to see who you think might be the toughest competition for the U.S., right? Like there's going to be teams they steamroll, but who can give them a battle? And it sounds like Team Canada is the team to do it.
Yeah, if I'm putting out predictions, U.S. is going to get the gold, Canada will get the silver, and then Australia will get the bronze with Patty Mills, Josh Giddey, Joe Ingles, Exum, Matisse Thybulle, Josh Green. They got guys. Aaron Baines will probably play when he's 40 years old.
Is there a sleeper team out there which is just like, oh, they have like 2-3 guys where it's like, I know like Luka and Bogdanovic is a good one, but
I think Turkey.
Isn't France going to have Wemby?
They will. Yeah, France will be solid, but I don't know if they have many guards. You got Killian Hayes and Frank Ntilikina.
ELC.
I'm looking up Turkey's roster because I think Turkey's actually pretty solid.
Alu Cabarro, remember him on the Sixers? TLC. He'll probably be on that team.
Oh yeah, he will.
And there's guys who haven't played in the NBA but are just like career EuroLeague guys that are good players.
Yeah, no, Turkey's got Omer Ute-7, who I think played in the NBA for a little bit, but he's solid. And then Sengun, who's a stud. Cedi
Yeah.
Osman, Furkan Korkmaz, and you remember Shane Larkin from Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why is he on the team?
he got his Turkish citizenship because he's played there for so long.
Oh, well, there you go. That's wild. Yeah, I mean, look, it's fun, right? I mean, the Olympics is fun. It's fun to see these other guys play for different teams.
You know what? Sorry, I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but
No, you're
you
good. I love it.
you remember Bryce Cotton from Providence way back in the day?
Yeah.
So he's won like five NBL MVPs in Australia, and he's been trying to get his Australian citizenship. So if he got it,
So
that's
he
another
might
guy.
sneak in on Australian team.
And then we
That's,
forget about Ben Simmons too, if his back's okay.
he's not playing. There is no way that guy is playing. If that guy, I would be shocked.
So Cotton has not been able to gain his citizenship, so he probably won't be able to, which is a shame.
Who hasn't?
Bryce Cotton.
Khan hasn't. So I'm sure there's got to be a window of like it can't be a week before the tournament. He gets it. And there's probably like a period of time he needs to have. But either way, fun stuff. 100 days away, 99 when you guys watch this. But the last thing on there was, you had Noah Eagle and Snoop Dogg. So I need to know why Snoop Dogg was in the pod notes next to Noah Eagle.
So NBC is getting ready with their commentator roles. So Noah Eagle, known for his, I guess, his Nickelodeon NFL games, that's been his call to fame, besides being the son of obviously Iron Eagle. But he will get the play-by-play for most of, if not all, of the basketball. And then Snoop Dogg will be the sideline commentator for most of the events, not just basketball, but track and field. And so I guess he did some studio stuff, I think, with Kevin Hart in the 2020 Olympics. So he's back for this one.
So Snoop Dogg is like a confirmed like analyst commentator for the Olympics.
Yep, he'll be the David Aldridge down there doing the interviews.
Oh, sideline guy.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, also Alex Cooper, by Call Her Daddy podcast fame, is going to be hosting Peacock live streams. So NBC's like all in for, I guess, the millennial/Gen Z.
Yeah, they're trying to, keep it going, which I'm usually pretty locked into the Olympics. I wish they, and I know now with Peacock, they can probably have more side streamed if you want to go watch the bow and arrows or the archery or watch the things that never get any coverage on cable. But with Peacock, I'm sure they'll have a lot more streaming access to all the other events.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do like Manning cast style stuff with all the events. Like Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte doing like a swimming Manning cast would be pretty electric. And then
pretty good. Because what? They're done. Phelps is retired and Lochte's done too. I guess they're old. Dude, we're fucking old.
Yeah, we are.
I was like, dude, what? I thought they were still in it, but I guess we are now kind of old.
Yeah, no, Phelps, I don't think he'll still be in it.
Who's the girl swimmer? Was it Katie Ledecky?
Katie Ledecky from Bethesda, Maryland, right next to me down the street.
In it, right?
She's in it.
She's still in it? Okay, so we still got her.
Yeah.
What are some of the other nuts events?
The summer's kind of, at least for like the individual events, the summer's definitely worse, I think.
Yeah, the winter's electric because like curling's fun. Like that gets nuts.
Yeah, snowboarding, skiing, all that.
Snowboarding, skiing,
the hockey.
It's hockey. Hockey, because it's like what's interchangeable is like hockey and basketball, right? Like Winter Olympics gets hockey, summer gets basketball, but hockey's definitely way more level playing field than
football. Yeah, and then I know we have for track and field, I want to say she was in the No Child Left Behind teaser. I think her name's Sha'Carri Richardson. That sounds right. But she's like the star of our track and field.
Yeah, track and field.
She's still around.
So I hope we get like some access to field stuff. What's it? The javelin, the shot put.
Oh, it'll be all over Peacock.
Yeah, that'll be cool to tune into. But I'm trying to think, like even the archery, because it's always just people you've never heard of ever in your life.
Yeah,
and it's like awesome. I'm sure we'll have some stuff going on with that.
I mean, I'm kind of rattled about us in the shooting competitions, considering our Army finished 13th in the NCAAs.
Yeah, well, it's usually not military guys. It's usually like rednecks from Alabama who are
That's true.
They're obsessed with hunting.
Yeah, or like MIT students that just do the physics of it.
Yeah, literally. Like it's not even like how you would shoot an arrow, but it's like that's how they're holding it to get like the most perfect shot. It's wild. It's ridiculous what goes into it, but either way, like I said, we'll dial that up. 100 days away, 100-day countdown starts now. 99 when everybody watches it, but start the countdown, dude. Summer 2024 in Paris.
Yeah, no, it's a little while away, but we might have to have a views from 400 little Olympics, whether it's beer Olympics or all the regular events. But stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that little teaser there. But anyway, back to not that the Olympics isn't relevant, but it's 100 days away, as we keep saying. So we'll get back to what's going on right now. That's the NHL playoffs starts up very, very soon. Just to rehash, my future back in like, I guess a month or two ago, I got the Avalanche. Jack has the Panthers and Brian has the Maple Leafs. But Brian gave that out when the Capitals were down and out. And the Capitals fought all the way back. And you can see, I mean, Brian has the hat on. They made their way into the playoffs somehow, some way, knocked the Flyers out. Same with, the Red Wings and Penguins all just got hot at the right time. And Flyers had like an 80% chance to make the playoffs a month ago. And they went on an 8-game losing streak. And then now they're not in the playoffs. So
the Capitals were at a 4.
Yeah. So they just kind of roles reversed and switched odds. And now the Caps are in. So, Brian, I give you your chance now. Are you rescinding the Maple Leafs and going all in on the Capitals?
Can I have both? Or do I have to pick one?
I mean, you can have both. I mean, the Capitals is more fake just because you're from DC. Rose is a Caps fan. You just kind of got married into being that.
The definition of a bandwagon.
Right. I mean, if you weren't with Rose, you probably would not care about the Capitals. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it worked out because I didn't really have a hockey team growing up, and then I go to Caps games down here, so I might as well just be a fan.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I won't call you that. Like, that's not like horrible bandwagon. You know what I mean? It's not like you're just like them to like them. You like still live in PA or Jersey and you like the Capitals. Like that would be worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, NHL playoffs is here. I'm still a little annoyed. Obviously, the Flyers collapse. They weren't even supposed to be good, but again, brought everybody in for no reason, just to fluff it at the end. So yeah, horrible. Hopefully the Avalanche can do it so that my future wins it all. And they got a good shot. So good group of core players who could definitely get it done. So we'll see if they can get a job done.
Yeah. And be on the lookout for Zach Myers. He's coming out with the Flyers, I guess either a rant or a season recap.
Maybe an outlook to try and give the Flyers fans some kind of hope or positivity going forward, because they do have some good draft players that over the next couple of years that they should have the rights to actually get into the NHL and play. Hopefully they don't say they want to leave and not play for the Flyers, which would be a whole other situation. But either way, we'll see what happens with that. But moving on to the MLB stories. I know we touched on Ranger Suarez throwing a complete game, 112 pitch shutout, which is nuts. You really do not see that at all anymore. And then Ryan, a couple other news?
Frank the Tank, I'm happy for you. Congratulations on losing a bunch of weight doing your Frank walks, but you can go fuck yourself. You are no longer the social media mascot of the New York Mets. That role has gone to Max Wiener, the rally pimp. Since he appeared on the SNY broadcast, the New York Mets are 10-3. They are sizzling hot right now. I'm not going to get too optimistic yet, but the Mets are fun again. Carlos Mendoza actually shows energy in the dugout. That the players look like they're having fun. They're young. They're youthful. They're not old farts that take the game too seriously. The Mets are fun to watch again. I didn't have fun watching the team last year. I'm having a great time, and I love the rally pimp energy. I hope Max Wiener goes to every single game so the Mets win the World Series.
Even Starling Marte's playing great again. He was horrible last year, and even he's like hitting home runs and at
He's been
least
great.
contributing.
I mean, the best part is like Brandon Nimmo, he's had a couple good games, but he hasn't really taken off yet. Jeff McNeil hasn't done much. And Lindor, for some reason, is still batting left-handed when he's hitting over 300 righty and like .40 from left side. Should just go to a right-handed hitter. But those three guys are like your core guys besides Pete Alonso, and they haven't done shit. Like Joey Wendell had the game-winning hit the other day.
Pete Alonso is playing well though.
Yeah, he is. The three are Nimmo, Lindor, and Jeff that aren't really doing much. And then
Yeah, because
Pete,
Alonso, he's gone on a decent. And that might even be in the midst of it right now, where they're like multi-hit games, like back to back to back to back. I mean,
I think he leads the NL in home runs, or he's tied with Ozuna. But yeah, he's been
yeah,
good.
he's already got I think like 6 or something homers and 10 plus RBI. So Pete Alonso is in a contract year, and he's definitely playing for it.
It's got ridiculous. I think he's 40 home runs away from passing Darryl Strawberry for the all-time lead in home runs for the Mets.
Really?
And he's only 29, 30. So hopefully they re-sign him, and then I don't know if anyone will ever break his record, but
No, because he's gonna hit a lot.
yeah, if he stays healthy, which I mean for the most part he's been able to in his career, he could get to 500, 600.
That'll be awesome because I mean, we haven't seen a guy do that in a while. I mean, like Trout is kind of up there. Harper, like I think was what around 300.
Harper will probably get to like 400, 450. And then yeah, Trout, I don't know. Trout's getting up there. He's older than Harper, right?
Yeah, Harper is 30 or 31, and Trout I think is 31 or 32.
Yeah, he's just been hurt so much that it's
Yeah, injuries, and then just obviously continuing to stick it out for the Angels.
yeah, no protection in that lineup. Okay, so Trout's only 32. I guess he came up so young, it feels like he's been around forever.
Yeah, so you have that going on, and then Harper's what 30?
Yeah, 31. So Trout has 375 home runs. So he could feasibly get to 500. And then Harper's 31 and he has 310 career home runs.
The closest guys to like having a shit ton right now.
Yeah,
Who else is out there in the MLB that's
yeah,
like Judge theoretically? He's just
Judge. Yeah, it's got to be Judge.
Eventually get close to having a lot. I mean, what is Stanton at?
Oh, that's a good call. Stanton's got to be around 300, but he's older. He's 34, and he's at 406, but he's kind of slowing down. I think Judge is probably the best
He hit a
call
homer
besides
today.
Pete. So Judge is also 31, and he's only hit 260. So I guess he's been hurt.
And he came up late. Like Harper was 18 in the MLB. Trout was also very young. I think Judge made his debut when he's like 26 or 27.
Yeah, probably 26. And he missed I think he missed a full season. Yeah, so Pete's at 198 and he's 29. So it's probably him and Judge are like your two best bets right now.
Pete's got some catching up to do, dude.
Yeah, he's hitting 50 a year.
Yeah.
So I guess by the time he gets to Harper's age, he'd be like right around where Harper is now.
Yeah. If it's, I mean, yeah, that's putting him on the higher end of home runs hit.
Yeah, if he keeps pace.
That's like saying he's sitting 50 to 60 a year.
That's what he's done every year.
I mean, it's what he's done for sure. For sure. But, that's not like, all he has to do is hit 30 for the next couple of years and he'll be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, MLB in full swing. We love to see it.
Yeah, last thing, speaking of home runs, boggles my mind why Estoria Ruiz was in AAA since he's been called up. He's sat for 2 games and he's hit 2 pinch hit home runs. The Oakland A's are just a disaster.
They were like forced to call him up too, because didn't JD Davis go on the IL?
Yeah, they were forced to call him up and they haven't played him, and every time he's played, he's hit a home run.
Yeah, it's clearly they just don't want to win.
I think that might wrap us up though. I know you want to watch the Sixers.
I definitely want to watch the Sixers. I did see one note on the NFL of Applebee's being the new bar and grill sponsor of the NFL. So
yeah, shout out Applebee's.
Shout out Applebee's, I guess. Unlimited boneless wings are always electric.
They got voted the best boneless wings in the country. I don't know what poll it was, but they also released it, so I don't know how accurate it is, but hey.
Good for them. I guess we'll see a lot of Applebee commercials next year during football season. I'll let you know at week 1, Brian, if how many I see.
Yeah, please let me know.
I'll definitely let you know. Maybe we'll get some cool, like if this happens or that happens, Applebee's does a promo during the week. Like if there's X amount of touchdowns scored on Sunday, some kind of special during the week.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like how Outback Steakhouse used to do the free bloomin' onion when Kevin Harvick got top 10.
Exactly. Exactly. There you have it, man. Views from Section 400. You get it all here. Started off with winners and losers, end it with Applebee's being the new bar and grill of the NFL. But as always, Matt and Brian here for this one. Maybe, or we should have Jack back for the next one. We'll see how he recovers from his surgery, I guess. That's what he's got going on. But yeah, views from Section 400. I got nothing other than go Sixers and go get a job done, Embiid. That's all I got.
Shout out the Auburn golf team, #1 in the nation, War Eagle.
It's pretty cool.